I woke up today and I had this urge. I just need to physically create another junk journal. And I wanted to take you along on the little journey while I'm doing that. I'm Diane of Faithart Design Studio, and I've been working feverishly for days making lots of new faith art kits for my shop. And I wanted to use some of the kits that I just made. So my desk is a mess because I've been printing, and I'm going to show you what my thoughts are. So this is I'm going to make a tall, skinny journal. Obviously tall and thin. This one I created years ago. It's almost finished. This has 12 by 12 papers in it. So it's a little bit wider than a regular skinny journal because it's going to be 6 inches on each side because you just fold the pages in half. This is very clearly a mixed media journal. The cover is just a cardboard box that I ripped apart and took off that top and then did lots of with distress stains and things like that on it. So here's just an example as you go through. My faith is in here. The 30 days of giving thanks is in here that I just did this past year. I'll make a separate video and show you all that of how you can obviously add faith, because that's what I'm all about, to whatever junk journals, mixed media journals that you're making. So that's just one example. And then the one I want to make today, I'm going to use fabric because I've been collecting all these wonderful fabrics. So here's another example. This one will be for sale in my shop soon. Almost finished, but not quite. It's not finished because I decided to make lots more faith art ephemera to go into the kit. But this is fabric, and how I made this cover is from 49 Dragonflies. She showed you how to use a Amazon envelope and cover it with fabric and sew it, and so that's how I made this. And this one works, but the problem for this one is it's only one signature, and it's going to end up being a gator journal. It's going to end up being super, super thick because I did I didn't have like a spine. So I want to do a fabric journal. That's what's in my head today, to create a new fabric journal that I'm going to sew. But I'm going to use a box today. And I go through this by the boxes, obviously. The Epson paper, present paper, matte paper, photo paper that I tell everybody, you have to print all of your digitals on this paper. Totally phenomenal, gorgeous, looks like photographs. So anyway, I have this box. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this together. So the back of it cannot be any taller than that, and it's going to be that because we've got that. So let's cut. Here's why I like it. Look, it's got a narrow spine, and so I thought maybe that would be a little bit better to play with so my journals don't end up being, like I said, big gator mouse all the time. So let's cut this stuff off. I only need one spine, so we're going to cut all that off. So whatever box you want to use, you can use a cereal box. You can use any kind of box. Like I said, I seem to have a whole bunch of these boxes most recently because I print 30, 40 pages a day on this photo matte paper. Matte photo paper. Why do I keep saying it that? That's so strange. Okay, if we cut off all that stuff now, this probably is only going to then be, how tall is this going to be, Diane? Let's see from there. Oh, 10. 10's good. That'll actually work because my paper is 8.5 by 11, so I have to trim it anyway. So I think that will work. So I think what we're going to do, let me get my other paper trimmer. Let's see if that works. If I can cut that the way I'm thinking I want to cut it. Yeah, that's not going to work on your paper cutter, Diane, because you need to cut it that way. Okay, well, Diane's just going to be cutting it by eye, and I can always straighten it out. Okay, so that works. Cut this off. There we go. Okay, now I have to decide how wide it's going to be And how do you decide that? I think you have to think about what papers you're using. If you're using scrapbook paper and you have lots of 12 by 12, okay, it won't matter. You can make it as wide as you want. But if you're using, here's an example of one of my new kits. If I'm going to use my printed digital papers, you can see mine prints and has that little edge on it, so I'm going to have to trim all that off. But if I fold this in half, what is the measurement on that? So that's going to be about 4. So I think I want my book to be 4.5. So let's do, oh wait, if I do it this way, 4.5, I put it right there. Let's cut it at 5 in case I'm making a mistake since I'm on camera. Okay. There we go. Almost cut it off. Okay. I think that will work. Yes, look. Okay, that's like the perfect size. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop this because now I'm going to go get all my fabrics and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cover this and then I'm going to sew it. So, be right back. Okay, I went through my stash and I've pulled up these pieces and I'm kind of excited. This actually looks good. Now, I have not done one like this at all. I've watched lots of other people on YouTube do it. So where'd I get these fabrics? This I just got at Joann's. They were having their fat quarters on sale for $1. They're normally $3. There's another one of them, but I didn't use that one. There's one I got. This is from one of those Tim Holtz packs. So I got like 10 pieces of fabric, and I like that. That works well. And then this piece, Dollar Tree, $1.25. And they have little rolls, and sometimes they have, I look there for more like complimentary pieces. I'm not looking there for some spectacular piece like this. And then where did this gorgeous piece come from? That came from a couple years ago. I bought a new kitchen dinette set. It was wooden and it had fabric covered chairs, and I hated the fabric the person had on it because I bought it used. So this actually was a shower curtain that I found for $12. So it was huge, and it was just enough to cover all 4 chairs. But isn't it just beautiful? It's just stunning. And so I've trimmed it so it's going to be on there like that. And then I think I'm going to use this like on the edge. So that's what I'm thinking so far. So my next step would be to glue all this down. So let me go get my glue stick, move some of this out of my way so hopefully you can see. So I'm going to glue it onto the cardboard. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew all around the parts. So the glue, yeah, I don't want to really use liquid glue because, well, I'm going to sew it. So what does it matter? I think the liquid glue would be bumpy, which is not what I want. So let's start by covering all this. And the other thing, when you use a package like this, you have to make sure that whatever fabric you're going to use is going to cover it up, because sometimes these things will show through, like the writing would show through, which is clearly not. I probably should have pressed that. I don't want the writing of Epson to be shown through my journal cover. So I'm just going to pull that out with glue, and hopefully that'll make it work. I think I'm going to have to break down and buy a different glue stick. I saw somebody tell me the other day that they really liked one, and I priced it, and it was like $5. But according to that person who does this all the time, it works really, really well and stays. So I think I'm going to have to invest in that. For this one, I'm not too worried because, as I said, I'm going to be sewing it. So hopefully it will, it'll work. Let's see, that's going to be like that. And then we're going to put, okay, this is messy, isn't it? Ooh, yuck. Hold on, let me get that off my hands. So now I got to get the glue onto there. Of course, I'll sew that edge. Of course, it's handmade, so it's not going to be perfectly lined up, Diane, which is fine. So now we're going to put this one on here, and I'm going to have to trim it, obviously, once I get it all glued down, trim all the edges. So you'll be watching my big experiment of how this works without that bookbinder glue that I know people use, that I'm not using. As I said, I think it's going to work because, oops, because I'm going to sew it. So let's see, I think that looks really good. And then I decided to put this piece over to just kind of marry up all the edges, which I think I like that. Okay, so let's see how that works. Okay, let's put that on there. That's pretty straight. Oh, I don't have glue right there. There we go. Now the purple glue is supposed to turn clear better because it's on the fabric now. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Okay, so let's trim this down to size, and then I will be over on my sewing machine. Of course, these are my mother's, who's dead, her sewing shears. She spent a fortune on these, and I'm her only daughter, so of course I got them when she passed, but they've been wonderful. They really cut, and of course I have a rule, you can only use them for fabric. They're not for paper. There we go. And then we'll get this edge. And then I'm gonna have to cover it with something in the inside. I think what I'm gonna do is use my digital papers. And I'm excited because I've got lots of new ones to show you that I've been creating. A couple neutral sets. And then I'm gonna be working on a pretty bold color set. Okay, so let's see how that looks. I think that is going to be really pretty. Now, see, I should have paid attention to that. Okay, we're going to have to put some more glue over there, because that's on the spine. There we go. Smooth all those wrinkles out. There we go. And I like that I frayed the edge, so you might not like that, but I do, so I'm happy with it. Okay. I think once I sew it down, then I'll bend the book. I don't want to bend the book right now. Okay, I will be back. Okay, I have been able to sew my fabric onto my cardboard. Now I'm going to be picking some of the pages to go on the inside, as well as what's going to be on the inside of my cover. And I have been feverishly making kits, and I'm excited to show some of them to you today. You'll see me use them in this journal. So I've created this wonderful brocade, dark green and then light greens kit. I just love they're all collage pages. So here's some really bold dark greens, some fun collaging pieces on them. So there's 5 of the darks, and then there's 5 of the lighter tones. And I think I am going to put this in there. So I've already trimmed that one sheet, and let me get them all together here. Okay, so here's the piece that I trimmed off of that one. So here's 5 more pages of the light greens. I love that I found Big Ben. And more collage pages. And then in my kits, I always try to add Faithart, obviously, So you can use these tags. They have some Bible verses or words about faith on them. So you can use those in your tuck-ins. You could put them anywhere on a page. And then these I've left, you could have the person journal like what verse they want to focus on or thinking about or praying about, and then just some notes. So they could scripture scribe the whole verse on there. And then I made some pockets and things like that. So that's the dark green kit. And I'm really entranced by some of those colors, I think, for the inside. Then I made a kit of some lighter tones. These are some pinks. And all the kit's names will be listed. And I love that. Like, look how that has that gorgeous color on there too. I want to use that. And then there's some more pinks. Then I've got a whole kit of some blues. Hold on. Well, I don't have it right in front of me. There's some more pages for this. I'll find that one. Then I've got this kit, which is, these are hymnal pages and a gorgeous blue cross. Here's the rest of the kit. Yeah, there we go. So this is a blue damask kit. So I've made another 10 or 15 pages of all this. They're all collaged. There's a gorgeous, I like this picture of depiction of Jesus. Obviously none of us know what he really looks like. So I think you'll find my pages, my background pages that I make are really interesting. They've already got some collage on them. So if you're not one of those people that has just boxes of old antique things, I've already got it on some of the pages. So, and you can also, and you'll watch me as I'm making this journal, you could just cut this out right here and use that on a corner of a page. So, as I said, I've been whipping up all of these kits. Okay, sorry about the barking dog. Obviously I have dogs. So there's some of that blue kit, but you're gonna see me as I'm making this journal go through a lot of these. Then there's a whole beige, taupey beige, neutral backgrounds. Again, some great pages. Love that clock. I want to put that in one of my, and all of these I've printed on matte photo paper. I'm going to tell you over and over again, I like that cross with blessed on it. That's going to be really pretty. Tell you over and over again, the best prints in the world come from matte photo paper. So there's that kit. Then there's another kit. Like I said, I've been making a lot. This is more lighter beiges, like kind of lacy white type pages. So I've got lots of those. This is going to be fun to put in this journal too. So I thought what I would do is I'm going to make this journal using most of my kits, lots of extra stuff, you know, fabric and lace and things like that. But here's, I love that with the bird. So you're going to see all of this in my kits. And then I've been making lots of, most of those kits come with ephemera with it too. So I've taken some of the parts that I used in the kit and then you just have those pieces. So there's some stamps, always Bible verses to add. And I think I've got them sized appropriately that they're gonna fit right in there. That's the same one. Okay. Here's some more ephemera that I've just put it together for you in butterflies. And there's the ephemera. There's that cross blessed from that page that I used, and it's a larger page. Okay, so we've got all that. So let's get to auditioning some pages. And oh, the other thing that I went and pulled out. So that was my digital papers. Now I want to go over one important thing. People, I don't know, there's two different camps of people that talk about digital papers. And, you know, I just want to use scrap paper and I want to use junk. Well, that's great if you have a lot of junk. But if you don't, but you want to do this wonderful hobby, the thing is, how are you going to get that? So that's why digital kits, digital background papers are so popular, because a couple things I'm going to tell you. First of all, the cost for it is very inexpensive, but that's predicated that you have a great printer and you buy matte photo paper. But in the long run, it's a lot cheaper to make your own. Number two, let's say I love this page and I want to use this in another journal. Well, if you bought a paper pack from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you only had one sheet of it, you're never going to get it again, because now it's just very hard to find scrapbooking paper that is as gorgeous as we can make digitally. So you can print things over and over and over again. So the bang for your buck is digital is really, really good. I'll make a separate video about the printer and the paper again, because a lot of people, like myself, up until a year ago, there's two ways to buy a printer. Either you spend a lot up front and get a better printer. You spend a little, but then you spend a fortune, much more than you would have spent on buying all the cartridges. So the new inkless cartridges, the new inkless, the cartridge-free printer. That's what I have, and I'll talk about that later. But anyway, okay, so I'm pulling out some things that I want to put in there. A friend went through all of her old junk and gave me old pieces of fabric. Look at that. I didn't coffee dye it. Can you kind of see? It's all got old lines. Who knows? It's just like 50-year-old fabric. That's definitely going in there. And then I've got some pieces that I bought, I think, from Taperology or Temu of, some handmade papers. We're going to put that in. I pulled out some embossing. I have a little quick video about embossing things. Check it out. You can take paper napkins. You can take any kind of wonderful paper. And if you have an embossing machine, run it through your embosser. These just make gorgeous pieces to add into your junk journal. So here's junk. And this is a paper bag that I ran through my embossing machine. So I've got a few of those set aside. And then I pulled out, again, some of the fabric that I used on the cover. So let's look over here. There's my cover pieces. So I'm going to use that inside again. I think that's going to be pretty on a page. And then this piece, I've got that. I'm going to add a piece of that. So I have it all available. I don't make total plans like some people do. I just kind of have it all sitting around me and then I grab it as I feel. I've also got this antique handkerchief that a friend gave to me for my stash that I would like to incorporate that. I don't know if I'll sew it in like that on there, then turn. It might need a piece of paper behind it. And then I've got some videos of my junking expeditions that I went to, thrift stores, and I got some old cocktail dresses, and they had this beautiful embroidered mesh stuff on top of a sheath type of a dress. So I've got pieces of that, which I think would go in there. This is another piece from one of the dresses, this gorgeous taffeta. So this is in my stash of fabrics that we're going to add. And there's some of that. And then obviously I always get, let's move that away. I always go through, and I have old hymnals, so I've pulled a bunch of songs out of there. And you will find some hymnal pages in my kits, some of my tea-dyed papers, some old book papers. I found this little notebook the other day somebody gave me a long time ago. It said Bible verse and a date, so I think I'm going to try and include that. Somebody also gave me a concordance, which of course we don't really use anymore because you can just go online. But I've got these great concordance pages. So these are all Bible verse references and things. And I thought that would be perfect to add faith to my journal. Then some old, you can tell how old, dictionary pages. And I think that's what I've pulled out so far. So I think I've showed you kind of some of my ideas. And the other thing that I've done is this set of Bible verses that comes in one of my kits. There's a secret. I printed it on my matte photo paper and it's on white, and that's okay. I can always edge it and, I can spray, stain it, whatever. But I also printed on clear sticker paper. And you'll see when I go to use these, this is really fun because it takes on the background when you use clear sticker paper. Great way to do that. And then I've, again, printed some of the Bible verses that I've got in my kits that are going to be going into this. And I also made a whole bunch more of tags, a whole tag kit. And this I added verse and notes. So these are fun little tuck cards that somebody could journal their Bible reading. Here's the blank page of that. So we've got that. Here's some other sizes, which I thought were really fun for verse and notes. And let's see, let me get this through quickly. And then I made some pretty vintage colored ones like that, and some other ones with lots of pretty flowers. And I've got Bible sayings, Bible verses, or common, like in Christ alone. We know that song and we know that point. Rejoice in the Lord. So you can always add those. So these are all, this is new in my shop. Look at these gorgeous vintage tags that I created also. So I've got lots of tags that will coordinate and go into this kit also. So what I'm going to do, oh, here's my latest one that I just made this one. Okay, I went and made a whole bunch of vintage postcards. Again, I don't have any of these real vintage ones. So I am making them for you, and that's the whole point. So in my kit, you'll have these. You can distress these and they'll look even better. Then I also made some pages. Again, there's so many women on YouTube, and I'm really happy for them that they have all this original stuff. They have original Latin and Italian and Greek and French notes and things like that. I don't have any of that. I'm trying to get back into my camera. Okay, so I just went ahead and made some pages for us. So here's a blank page. You can always use that. Then I took the same thing and just added some color if you want to, you know, do those strips. So there's quite a few pages of notes. There's some hymnal pages. Here's some really cool old invoices and ticket stubs and stuff like that. And again, more notes in foreign languages. Here's a cash book that I actually own this and can scan this in. This is from, oh wait, I forget. It's like 1920 or something like that I got. I did find that one a couple years ago. And then these are the original French letters from my friend that you've heard me talk about in my other videos. She was able to let me scan these. So these are real French love letters from a soldier during World War II to his love of his life in France. And then I've just made some more of those. And here's his original postcards from those two same people from France. And again, just made some more fun old junk journaling type of things for you. So if you are like me and don't own all this stuff because you haven't been so blessed to find it in junk stores, I've got a kit just for you. You can just go ahead and print all this and then you'll have all your own stuff. Okay, so I think I've shown you enough of the kits and kind of what I'm thinking about. So let's kind of move forward and I'm gonna start to play. I wanna make this journal and show it to you. So I cut this paper because I like this. I think I'm gonna put that on there. And then let's see what page. I found that I saw a page when we were going through all my pages and now I moved it away. Maybe I'll keep with the same, that same kit. Oh, I love that page though. I might want that inside. Now these I made vertical because this is a tall and skinny junk journal. If people want them horizontal, let me know and I can just play around with the kits. Oh, I think that looks pretty. Maybe let's use that one. Okay, so I am not a person who sits here and measures every single thing. I kind of eyeball stuff. Now the trick is I didn't trim this piece of paper, so let me get my guillotine over here. Let me trim the edges off because as you're making that to go in, to your kit, there we go. You need to have it ready to go in, so let's do that. Okay, that page is ready. Let's move all that away. So which way do I want it? Do I want the darker green? Which kind of might be nice. I like that, and then I could save this piece. The other thing I have to think about is, do I want to go and cover up this little piece of spine? I think what I'm going to do is go to the edge of the fold instead, and I'm going to put a piece of Tyvek in here. I just watched a video the other day of somebody who did that in her journal, just to make it really good and sturdy. So as you're, sewing things in. So let's do that. Let's put this on here, and I'm just going to eyeball it and cut it. So just know it goes there and goes approximately there. Okay, so let me trim that again. There we go. And then over to the other part. Some people just, oh, that was dumb. So I cut off the mark. Okay, Diane, you'll be doing good. Here we go. There we go. So now let's see where that mark is. That is approximately right there. Now I can see it instead of trimming it off. A lot of women just cut with scissors, and that's great. Mine just get really crooked, and then, yeah, that goes there like that. Okay. Yes, I think I like that page. Okay, I am gonna get my glue stick out, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, I'm using Elmer's glue, but I ordered actually some Uhu glue to do this. It should be coming today, so we're gonna use 2 sets of glue for this. I'm gonna use the Elmer's, and then I'm gonna do the edges with my art glitter glue. Did I just turn that around again? There we go. Now you can tell which side is up because of the numbers. Oh, Diane. Yeah, I did it fine. Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness, Diane, you're just not having... Let's get this on straight. To begin with, it has to be on straight. Okay. Oh, my paper is that crooked. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up over here. I thought I cut it straight. I guess I didn't. There we go. And then on the edges, so that it doesn't come apart, I'm gonna put some glitter glue on the edge, so I know that it's good and stuck down. Okay, that's not too bad. There we go. Not too far off. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll trim that in a minute. And then this one is going to go over here, so let's do that again. You know what, let me grab my bone folder. Okay, let's get that added. You want to use a lot of glue because you don't want it to buckle. You don't want it to come apart. Okay. Now let's see if I have a better time of adding this one. I think I'll do the same thing. I'll just stick with the outside edge. And this I didn't trim yet, so that's okay. There we go. So my sewing lines that you see on the outside are now covered up. That's okay, some people like that. I could always go back and sew again if I wanted to. So let's trim this off. There we go. Well, I'm glad that I did not cover my little spine. I think I'm going, as I said, I think I'm going to get a piece of Tyvek to make it nice and sturdy. There we go. There. Okay. So there's my 2 inside pages. And the reason I like the way I make my collage pages is because now I don't really need to add a lot of things onto the page. It's already got a lot of interest. That's kind of really the good part. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to go get a piece of Tyvek envelope, probably one of my Amazon ones, and I'm going to insert that on there. I'll be right back. I pulled a piece of brown from one of these Amazon envelopes. Not the big, thicker part, but I'm just going to put this down. It's just to reinforce it, is what I'm trying to do. Reinforce my spine. So let's put that on. And then I'll cover it. Well, actually, you probably won't see it anyway. Right? And then I'll just rescore it to make sure that it fits in there. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that part. Now, what I want to have happen is all this glue needs to dry. It needs to be good to be able to stick down. So what we'll do is we're going to set that aside, and I'll fold it and rescore it.